Oh, oh, the other one.
I guess I'll stand first. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you. Who's excited to see Lana Ferguson? I know. She's left her house for us, guys. Okay, so my name is Destiny. I'm a bookseller here at East City Bookshop. I co host the Romance Book Club, and I'm very excited to welcome you here today to talk to an author I love and a beloved friend of mine. First, I would love if we could silence our cell phones. I would be most appreciative so we don't have any interruptions at this time. Is there anyone who is new here, who has never been here to East City Bookshop? Ooh, well, huge round of applause for you too. Yes, yes. Warm East City welcome. Hope that it won't be your last time here. We have tons of amazing romance events, if I do say so myself. And so we would love to see you again. For the new folks, restrooms are upstairs and past the registers going that way. So you got to go up here and then past the registers. And I mentioned that we have tons of amazing romance events. Coming up later this month is Thighs Wide Shut with Haley Fleming, who, little known fact, was or is a Really Reading Romance book club member turned author. So we love to see it. Yeah, so that's later this month. You can sign up on Eventbrite if you would like to. I think that is all in the way of announcements. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the signing process at the end because I know as much as you love listening to me right now, you will forget. So I will remind you at the end and let you know how that's going to go. Alrighty. Oh, one last thing. If you bought a book here at East City Bookshop today, a Lana Ferguson book, it is already signed. So if you're like, oh, I want to run out of here, I don't want personalization, you should be good to go. All right, on to the lady of the hour. Lana Ferguson is a sex positive nerd whose works never shy from spice or sass. A faded Fabio book cover found its way into her hands at 15, and she's never been the same since. And aren't we glad of it? When she isn't writing, you can find her randomly singing show tunes, arguing over which Batman is superior, and subjecting her friends to the extended editions of The Lord of the Rings. Lana lives mostly in her own head, but can sometimes be found chasing her canine through the coppice of the great American outdoors. Please join me in welcoming the one, the only, Lana Ferguson. Keep it going, keep it going. Oh, look around, look around. Everybody is here for you.
So nervous.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are so happy to have you here. I am so happy that you're
I'm so
here.
happy
Oh
that I'm here with you.
my gosh.
And all of you.
And all the virtual people, we love you too. Hi, hey, welcome. You don't have to silence your phones. You can do whatever you like. Okay, so happy Pub Day.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Okay, so since 2023, you've published The Nanny, Zaddy Aiden Forever, The Fake Mate, The Game Changer, Under Lock and Key, Overruled, Room for Two, which is a novella, The Mating Game, and now The Final Score. That's a lot of books, and they're ranging from contemporary to paranormal to sports. Can you tell us what the secret to your productivity is?
Very little sleep. I think it's a combination of I'm a very fast writer. As long as I am feeling inspired, I can pump out 3,000 words in a couple hours. Um, that does not happen if I am not feeling inspired. But also it's kind of the way I write, and this might be the same for everybody. It might not be groundbreaking, but I kind of see everything in my head like a movie, like a picture, and I just transcribe what I see. And so if I'm seeing it's fast, quick, easy. But if I'm not, then that's when the tears come in. So,
And that's when we talk.
oh, that was another point. I also have a great group of betas, Destiny included, who listen to me cry a lot about everything, not just books, life too.
We honestly, if we see an incoming Lana Ferguson text, we're like, we're ready. We're ready. So can you give us the elevator pitch for the final score for anybody who may not have any idea?
Sure. So it's a continuation of the Game Changer. We're going to see a lot of the same characters, but it is following now Jack and Abby, who are brother and sister, not to each other. two of the main
Fair.
characters from the Game Changer. And they're kind of frenemies. They've kind of a little bit of contentious there, but they are starting to learn about each other because on top of everything that Abby has been dealing with, she suddenly gets her apartment flooded and she has nowhere to go. She tries to stay with Ian and Delilah, and that does not work because they are in their honeymoon phase. Um, so she doesn't want to stay there. So Jack offers his spare room, and all she knows about him is that he is this flighty. She calls him a douche canoe. Which I have been told ages me for using that. But, she decides to take the room because she figures she doesn't really have any other choice. And she kind of starts to realize, and they both start to realize that there's a lot more to them that meets the eye, basically.
I think you did that well. I think you captured like the key points. And you do mention in your acknowledgments that Jack is one of your favorite male main characters
Yeah.
that you've written. So I'm wondering if you could just share with us why that is.
Honestly, because I put a lot of myself into Jack. We have a lot of the same quote unquote bad brains, is what I call it, and a lot of the same mental health issues. So it was really cathartic to be able to write a character like that and, put him on this journey where he realizes that he's still worthy and deserving of love because I need to hear that a lot of the times. And that's really the message that I wanted to convey with this story. But also, there's just something really hot about someone who's dealing with their own trauma, but they're still willing to be there for her. And he's just basically my little cinnamon roll, and I love him.
Oh, Jack. So what's one or two, you can decide, green flag for both Jack and Abby, and what's a red flag for both of
Okay.
them?
Um, for Jack, I would say he is a consent king. Like
Agreed.
he is
Co-sign.
constantly checking in with Abby for everything. I don't really think they have red flags. They're my babies,
Okay.
but
Okay.
so I'll give them a beige flag. So which is just like annoying, not necessarily like
No,
run
it's
for the
fine.
hills. I feel like Jack's the type. Jack probably has a lot of beige flags. I feel like he's the type to leave his keys in the fridge. I feel like he's the type to leave the cabinets open all the time. I'm just naming my own beige flags, basically. I feel like he gets lost a lot because he doesn't pay attention to his surroundings. Plenty of those for him. With Abby, I think she's a great listener. She has been through a lot on her own, but she's still open and willing to be there for others. She is the type that will drop what she's doing to lend an ear. As far as beige flags go, I had to really think about this one, but she's so particular that I think she sets alarms for like the most specific times, like 7:02, 7:04. And honestly, like my husband does this and it creeps me out. I'm like, why? I like 15-minute intervals or bust. No, thank you.
Okay, but does Jack leave the toilet seat up?
Never.
Okay,
No, he would
okay.
never do
Because
that.
that's a red flag. I'm
Never.
sorry.
He definitely places it down for Abby every single time.
Perfect, perfect. We can forgive all the beige. Okay, so Jack and Abby they're both going through situations that sort of threaten their sense of identity. On Jack's end, he's facing potentially not being able to play hockey anymore, which is like the sport of his life. And then on Abby's end, she's kind of coming out of the shadows of being sort of this secret baby, essentially. And so why do you think that they work together as a couple, even though they sort of have the same hangups and the same blind spots?
I think it's because they're able to like really commiserate with each other. I fully believe that you can't fully understand what someone's going through unless you've sort of walked something similar. So because they have those shared traumas, they can kind of be there for each other, lean on each other, and just take care of each other, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because I think sometimes when I read, I'm like, I'm thinking of, I guess, the opposite poles attracting, but in this case, they really are very similar.
Yeah, trauma bonding.
Yeah. You know what? Also relatable. Also relatable. Okay, so outside of the fun and the lighthearted and the sexy that we all expect from a good Elford book, um, so much of this is about how your characters respond to wounds, both physical and mental. So, what lessons do you think that they ultimately learn at the conclusion of the book?
I think Jack learned that there is more to him than just being a hockey player. Like, I think he really needed to learn that there's more to him to offer to people. And with Abby, I think she kind of learned to depend on others. She's had to basically be there for herself her entire life. She lost her mother very young, and then her dad is a douchebag. So I think she finally learned to be able to kind of give up that control and let someone else take care of her.
Yeah.
I talk with my hands a lot. I'm so
A little
sorry.
bit. Okay, so you now have two books out, and you will in the fall have three books out that were sequels.
Mhm.
What have you found to be the most and least, if you want to, enjoyable aspects of following up with characters that people are already familiar with? And you can also compare that to what it's like writing a standalone.
Okay. I honestly think they're the same because it's fun to revisit these characters and explore their world, expand it a little bit, but it's also, can I say that word?
Yes.
It's really fucking hard because I have a squirrel brain and there's little details and like, for example, I forgot Ian's mother's name last night at my
What is
event.
Ian's mother's name?
It's Christine.
Okay.
I completely blanked and I was like, how did I even get this book written? I can't even remember my side characters. So it's really hard, like being able to juggle those details and make sure everything like is, corresponds with everything else. So, but it's also fun to be able to like continue their story, see what else they're up to, revisit the old characters. So I like that part of it.
Would you say you prefer to write a standalone above
Yes.
a Okay. No one popping out the woodworks like, what's his mom's name? Okay, so 5 years from now, when you no doubt have 1,500 books out, what is one scene from this book that you will remember and why?
I'm going to
Eh,
preface by saying I'm a goblin.
Okay.
But
Ooh.
I will always remember that Jack Baker asked her to put her phone between her legs so
Yes.
that he could see.
Yep. We have officially scandalized Amy, our tech person. I love it so much.
I'm sorry. It was just,
Was
it
that a
sounds,
Maximilian
it
laugh?
sounds awful, like out of context, but I promise, just trust the process.
Look at Amy. She's trying out her tomato costume right now. No.
I'm turning. Don't want to.
Yeah, no, listen, we're gonna talk about it in a sec. But I love some Elfric spice. So for me in this book, I would definitely say the great outdoors. That's what I'll call it. When you read it, you will know what I'm talking about.
Fun fact, I'm pretty sure you requested that. I'm pretty sure that scene only exists because you requested it. And I
Not
was
me.
like, and I'm very easily persuaded. So I was
Not
like,
me
more smut? Why not?
patting my own back, but yes, it is. I mean, you wrote it and it is divine. I love it. Okay, so I really felt the third act separation in this book. I know. Look at like it felt visceral to me. So without being too spoilery,
Okay.
I know. Why do you think that inciting incident or what happened was the right thing to set that moment into motion?
Well, it's like I said earlier, like Jack needed to learn that there's more to his life than hockey. And, Abby kind of gives him a proverbial kick in the balls. And he needed that because otherwise he was just going to continue on letting that be his entire personality and thinking he had nothing else to offer anyone. And as for Abby, she needed to learn how to stand up for herself and how to put herself first. And I think this was the perfect opportunity to do that because it kind of set her up to do this with her father because if you can do that with the person that you're falling for, then everything else just seems easy.
That's such a good point that I hadn't even thought about. Yeah. Oh, we don't want to talk about her dad. I don't want to talk about him.
He's a douche.
He's really
He's
not.
not redeemable. Don't like him.
Um, so I love Easter eggs. Who loves an Easter egg? Anybody like an Easter egg? Yes, here for it. Okay. So do you put interconnecting moments in most of your books? Because if so, I am like you right now, and I'm like, wait, I haven't always seen him. Should we be looking out?
This is the first time that I put
Oh,
an
okay.
Easter egg in there, and I can't even tell you why I did it. I saw the opportunity, and I missed this people in question. I'm not going to spoil it, but honestly, not a lot of people have said anything to me about it so far. So I'm like, keep your eyes peeled.
Oh,
It's a
immediately.
deep cut.
I know what that
It's
is.
definitely a deep cut.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled if you haven't already book, and if you have read the book, no, you haven't. You gotta read it again. Okay, so honestly, the people online who do like the spicy chapter guides for you and your books are my heroes because I could mainline those scenes that you write. As a full-time flame expert, what would you consider to be your number one rule to writing a great sex scene?
Um, I mean, maybe a few things. First, I really think you have to not be afraid to go for it. Like, write the gritty details. Like, realism makes it real, basically, and as simple as that sounds. Like, don't be afraid to use the word labia. It's fine. But also, there's also an element of connection that I really think is important. Like, it's like little sighs and choked off words that they can't get out because they're so overwhelmed. Like if you know, it's the chemistry, and that's how you create chemistry is those little moments. And I think that really makes a great scene.
Taking notes, anyone? Okay. Okay, so Jack is sort of infamous, no, very, I think, infamous for his pithy rejoinders and terrible jokes. So can you tell us your worst slash best dad joke?
Let me pick. What do you call a pile of cats? Newton, yes,
What was your like
my
total twin
people,
right there?
my twin. Thank you.
Mountain. Okay, I actually really like
It's so
that.
cute.
That's so
It's so
cute.
bad, but it's so cute.
Okay, so more broadly, do you have any favorite tropes to write? Have to ask this question. It's a romance crowd. And talk about how that may or may not change depending on whether the book is contemporary or paranormal.
So universally, my favorite trope is forced proximity, and that's probably obvious by now because I do return to it a lot. I just love being able to shove them together. It's like one long now kiss moment. And I just love like the late night meetups and the run-ins at the shower.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
my favorite. And honestly, it works with paranormal too. But if I'm pivoting to paranormal, I would say I really lean into the fated mates. I love that inevitability of it and the way that they are so drawn to each other that they just can't help it.
Mm.
So, I mean, it kind of varies, but also forced proximity is great in paranormal as well.
Yeah, we definitely
It's
see
just
that.
all around great. I love it.
Okay, so I've now stolen this question, Zoraida, wherever you are out there, Zoraida Cordova, the author. I'm going to ask this question all the time, which is, it's a Lana Ferguson book when? And do you want to go first?
Go first. Let me think.
Okay. I know it's a Lana Ferguson book when there are like singe your eyebrows off level of flamage and heat and sex scenes, but also like that juxtaposition of like true heartfelt intimacy, like both of those things in the same book. I know it's you.
Okay, well, just make me cry, why don't you? But
Oh.
I'm gonna pivot and be a goblin again. But I think it's a Lana Ferguson book when there is smut in at least the 30% mark.
You know what?
Or in my case, sometimes the prologue.
Approved.
Yeah. They let me do it. I will do.
Okay, so what have you been reading, watching, loving? Basically, what media is bringing you joy right now or inspiring you?
I do have a very high habit of that's a pun. High habit of locking into television, like really bad television shows when I'm gardening. Um, so currently my favorite right now, and it's like so awful, it's wonderful, is the What We Do in the Shadows TV show.
Okay.
I missed it when it first came out, so my friend kind of bullied me into watching it, because I loved the movie. And it's just so good, especially while gardening. Highly recommend. Another pun.
Do you want to talk anything about your previous shows, the Americas?
Oh
No.
God, you're gonna call me out. Okay, so I watched the America's Next Top Model documentary, what, like when it came
Yeah,
out.
when it
That
came
was a
out.
few months
Yes.
ago. And I had watched it like casually as when I was younger, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see if it's as bad as I remember. Or if as if they're making it out to be. It is, spoiler alert. But I shotgunned 22 seasons in what, 2 months?
Yes, it was insane, people.
And
It was insane.
Unlucky Destiny became somehow the bearer of that experience because I would voice note her while gardening every night about all of my thoughts and theories and complaints. So that was a journey for me.
And me also. I feel like I also watched all 22
I feel like at this
episodes
point I could
or
have a
seasons.
podcast about it.
We are ready. I am ready. Okay, so lastly, before we do a fun little game and then we go to audience questions. So start thinking of what you would like to talk to Elferg about.
Can we make Elferg a
Can we
thing?
make Elferg a thing?
Elferg is it sounds hipper than I am.
You know what? We're here for it.
Yeah.
Elferg.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it's happening. Um, yes, so before we play this game, I would like to know what we can expect from you. I know you literally have a book out today. I know.
Yes.
But what else is going on?
So, The Soulmate comes out in December. It is the last book to the Fake Mate universe, unfortunately, I think, unless I go crazy and write another one.
Go crazy.
I don't know if I'll ever be done with knots, but I just can't let them go. And then, The Room for Two is printing.
Yes.
The novella that I did with Spotify is printing next
Year.
February
Yes.
next year, I think. I don't know what month. And then I just announced a monster series, which is basically like monster porn stars. I mean, that's basically the premise. And I'm really excited about it because it was so much fun.
Me too. Me too. Okay, so we're gonna play a quick game and then we'll pivot to audience questions. And this game is Would Jack Blank?
Oh gosh. Okay. It's probably yes to all of them.
Okay, would Jack read fanfic?
So I wholly believe that this man was sent RPF of him and Ian,
Okay, yep.
and he read it to Ian to bully him. Like, so probably in that regard. Like, is he out here reading like Spurk? No, probably not.
Okay.
But in that regard, I think
So
so.
he's not seeking out.
He's reading his and Ian's.
The love story for the ages. Okay. Would Jack get along with Lachlan from Under Lock and Key?
Ooh, I
Neutral audience, people audibly gasped.
I think it depends on if he knows he's the Loch Ness monster because he'd be asking him to change for him. And Lachlan would be explaining, I have to get naked for that. And he'd be like, that's fine. Do it anyway.
That's so true. Like just regular old Lachlan. I feel like they
No, Lachlan would hate Jack.
Lachlan would absolutely hate Jack. I'm so sorry.
No, he wouldn't.
Okay. Would Jack be able to keep one of your publishing secrets if you told him?
I can't even keep my publishing secrets. I have a beta chat and don't tell my publisher, but if I know something, they know something. So no, Jack would not last a day.
No, I feel like immediately he would be like, guess what Elford told me? Okay, would Jack, he likes to cook. So would he go on Chopped Food Network show?
I honestly don't think so because, now that he's like semi-retired, I think he's looking for a little peace in his life. And I think it'd be a little bit too stressful for my poor baby.
Yeah.
That show.
It's intense.
Yes,
It is.
intense. My boy's on meds. No, thank you.
Okay, no chop. Okay, so if Jack were to do drag, would he let Abby pick his name?
No, no. I think Jack probably has been to a drag show and he had a full conversation about what his name would be.
Okay.
And it probably has the word stick in it.
Yes.
Yes.
Arm.
Or on a lot of stick or something like that.
100%. Okay, would Jack bungee jump?
Absolutely. He's a thrill seeker.
Okay, but see, he
He'd
wouldn't
be
go on
all over-
Chopped.
That's true. He is on meds. It doesn't hurt your feelings. So yeah, he'd be fun.
That's such a great point. Our audience member said bungee jumping doesn't hurt your feelings. That's such a good point.
I'm still not doing it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we could do like 1,000 more, but I do want to give the audience opportunity to ask some questions. So I will pivot to you all, and if you don't have questions, I have a lot more. So don't be shy. Yes. Question is, have you seen Heated Rivalry Oh boy, guys. Have you seen The Pit and what are your thoughts? Reader, we will never get to The Pit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have not seen The Pit. I will say that to begin with because it's very hard for me to watch TV unless apparently I'm gardening. But the question is, how many times have I seen Heated Rivalry? I have so much merch in my office. Like I own like so many versions of this. I've won like I've bid on auctions for like for charity for rebinds, so I have many of those. Yeah, I have seen Heated Rivalry and loved it thoroughly. I reheat the rivalry often.
Other questions? Yes. Okay, we'll
Oh,
all the way in the back.
yeah.
How do you know if an idea you have for a book is worth pursuing, writing, and exploring, or just being like, that was just an idea?
Honestly, I think you have to try it. Like you actually have to get in there and try at least outline it or put down like a simple synopsis because once you start like getting into it, you can kind of tell, can I make this work? Like, is it going to be trash? So that's what I do. If I have an idea, I immediately start to like do a very loose outline, which is all I do for all of my books. And I can kind of tell from there if I'm going to continue with it, basically, if that makes sense. Okay.
I saw one more here,
Oh,
here, and then I'll
yes.
make my way over
Keep
here.
turning
Yes.
towards you.
Which of your books do you think would make like the best adaptation? Like I know with all like the hockey stuff going on right now, that might be the obvious answer, but I'm wondering what you think your best adaptation would be.
Which of your books do you think would make for the best TV adaptation or movie?
I'm going to go with my favorite, which is Overruled. I just think the banter is great. I mean, not that I don't like to toot my own horn, but I really loved the banter in that one. I think the law stuff is actually pretty accurate because I did have a lawyer look at it. And I just love them. I just think it's like the pay I don't know. It was one of my it's the only book that I've ever written that I was like, you know what? This is pretty good. It's very hard for me.
No, I never read Paranormal Horror until Under Lock and Key. He picked it up for me because it has a chills on it. What was going through your mind when you came up with the idea?
What was going through your mind when you decided that a human man should also be a Loch Ness? When you decided to write Under Lock and Key?
I'm gonna be 1000% honest with you guys. I pitched it as a joke. I was coming off of the Fake Mate, and they had me on a contemporary to paranormal to contemporary schedule, and they're like, "We need to have an idea for your next paranormal." And I pitched something about vampires, and then they're like, "That's not fresh enough." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I like vampires." But then I was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if the Loch Ness monster was like actually a hot guy?" And I was like, "Ha ha, tee hee." And my agent was like, "Hold up a minute." And I was like, "Oh no, now I have to actually figure it out." So yeah, and then I built it from there basically.
My favorite thing about that lore is like all the Scottish people being like,
They hated me.
girl.
Scotland was so upset. There was news articles. I was like, do I issue an apology to the country? Like I was like, I literally had a Scottish person beta this book and she was a little mad at me, but she forgave me. She's my dedication, Blair. So yes.
Over here, Eddie? Yes.
Oh,
This was my first to like actually make me sob.
oh no.
I loved like my merch because of Jack and everything. I was just like, wow. I was like, I didn't think I was like gonna be sobbing in here, but I love like how emotional it got when you were writing it. Did you feel the tears, or was it just for us to feel the tears?
So the question is, this book actually made this reader feel so emotional. So when you were writing it, Elfberg, did you also feel the tears, or were the tears for the readers?
I think there were a couple of parts that really got to me. His first panic attack really got to me because I also suffer from panic attacks, and they can be so debilitating. But also the third act breakup really got to me. Like it, I'd really gotten invested in them, and it did. Yeah, it definitely got to me a little bit. It was hard to write that part. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So this is my favorite question to ask authors, but Under Lock and Key is my favorite book by you.
Mhm.
Monster romance girly to the core, so you doing more monster romance is exactly what I need.
Yay.
But if Lachlan and his female friend were a cocktail, what would they be?
If Lachlan and his female friend were a cocktail, what would they be?
Oh my God, my mind just went blank. Have I ever had an alcoholic beverage? Um, yeah, what are there Scottish drinks out there? Hot toddy. Ooh, he is hot. I let's go with that. Let's call it a hot toddy.
Yes, over here.
You have like favorite book or favorite
Oh, I'm gonna break.
Okay, so you mentioned that Overruled was your favorite book and Jack is your favorite male main character. Do you have any books that you at least like?
So I'm gonna be 100% real with you, and I'm gonna break some hearts. But The Game Changer is my least favorite book, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it broke my heart because when it came out, it was supposed to be the time that Overruled came out. And the Overruled was the book of my heart. And they asked me to write a sports romance and push it back. And so the entire time I'm writing, I was like, God, I hate this so much. I wish this was my lawyer book. So it wasn't so much the book that I don't like, it was the experience I had while writing it. So I guess that kind of, but then here I am writing a sequel because I fell in love with a character. So I guess I love it for that reason. But because of the experience I had, it was a little difficult.
Did you not dedicate that book to yourself?
I did because I deserved it.
Okay, I feel like we have time for like 2 to 3 more questions. If we had, yes, we'll go here and
Mhm,
then in
here
the back.
too.
And one over. Oh, guess we got them. Yes.
you like writing paranormal or contemporary books?
Do you enjoy writing paranormal or contemporary more?
Probably paranormal just because it's I'm not gonna say it's easier, but it's a lot less difficult because I can make my own rules. Like if I want to have a weird penis, he can have one. If I want to give her sex powers, I can. Like you notice what I gravitate towards. But I just love the freedom of it, how I can kind of make my own universe and I don't have to like stress myself out about like where is this place? Is that does that place actually exist? Like and googling, so much googling.
Okay, we had one in the middle over here. Yes.
You can
Yes,
stand.
please. Do you snack while you're writing? And if so, what's your favorite snack?
Um my I don't not really while I'm writing, but one of my favorite snacks is strawberry pop tarts. I again, this is a gardening thing. Definitely frosting.
Oh, that's
Just out of the pack, straight up out of the pack. I don't like them hot. Mm-mm. Yeah,
I agree with that.
they're
Like the
so good.
hot Pop Tart is like, oh, why is this warm? Ah, the hot fruit. Oh, okay.
No, thank
Not
you.
to yuck anyone's yum, totally, but like, okay. So I was there one more over here, and then okay, we'll hop over here. Yes. Are there any rough drafts that will never see the light of day that you could slide to us?
Um, Again, I'll be 100% honest with you. I was contracted for a romantasy, and as you can see, there is no romantasy because I pivoted because I got about halfway through the book one and I was like, "Wow, you're not very good at world building, are you?" So I'm sitting on it and I'm telling myself that it's just not the right time. Um, but it may see the light of day one day, but not today.
Oh, virtual. We love you. Yes.
Are there any books you find yourself rereading, or were there any books that you were saving for an emergency that you have since broken?
Like my books?
Yeah. Are there any? No, no, no. Are there any books that you have been rereading, like comfort reads type, and or do you have any like break in case of emergency books?
I just reread Heated Rivalry not long ago. Um, but I also love it sounds so cliche because I am her friend, but I am a fan first, friend second of Ruby Dixon. So I love that universe. It's just so comforting and she's just so good at keeping all the elements like cohesive and the story like fun and light while still being like, it's just great. She's great. It's great.
Can you tell us your favorite Ice Planet Barbarians book?
Um,
I honestly don't know the answer to this, so
don't ask me the title because there's 56 of them, guys.
Tell me
Like,
the couple, 'cause I don't know the
Rook,
title.
Rook and Harlow
Oh.
are my favorites. I love the actually all of her books where it's like there's a communication barrier.
Okay.
I love that. I'm a slut for that.
I actually really like Hayden and Josie.
I love
You
them
hate
too.
Josie Girly, let's go.
Did you? Well, you want to know something?
Yes.
It's not Hayden. It's Hayden.
No way.
She told me that. She confirmed, and I said, "I love you," but no.
Okay, all right. No, I'm gonna like devolve.
Yeah.
No.
It's Hayden.
Hayden?
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, that is not canon. I don't believe that. No. Okay. Any last questions? Yes, over here.
Oh gosh.
Who is the best Batman, and do you have a favorite Robin?
Well, my favorite Robin is Chris O'Connell. Is it Chris O'Connell?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely my favorite. The rubber O'Donnell. The rubber suit. You know, I love that.
He's like, I have my role.
Sorry. Thank you so much. It's been a while since I've seen. Is it Batman Forever? Yeah. But I would say the best Batman is obviously Keaton, because that's my first Batman. But I will pivot a little bit and tell you, I did not hate our pet's Batman. I did not. I actually loved it. It was very like noir detective kind of style, and so I was very surprised by him. But if you asked me my favorite, it would be Keaton. So
Is this a whole Twilight thing?
no, it's nothing to do with Twilight. I actually went into that movie thinking I'm gonna hate this,
Oh,
but it surprised me. He did a good job. I stand on that hill.
okay. All right. Did I miss someone over here?
Oh, there's someone.
Yes, way in the back and then virtual. Yes. What's your research process like in general?
So much Googling. Literally, I will Google like maps and neighborhoods, and if they live somewhere, I will try to find an actual Zillow listing for a house to base it off of. When I pick their names, I go by their date of birth. Like I figure out how old they are, and then I go for popular names back on that during that year. Don't ask me why. That's what I do.
Thorough.
But mostly just a ton of Googling. Like Google is my friend. It's all of our friends.
Virtual. What part of the writing experience do you think you are really good at?
The porn. It's literally, guys, it's the only part of my books that I'm confident about. Like the rest of it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they'll just stay for the porn. I don't know.
Well, clearly they have.
All of us goblins.
Let's do one more question and then we'll pick. Oh man, we got to do two. Yes, over here and then over here.
Oh, that's
where
a
were you
great
and how did you
question.
feel the first time you saw one of your books in the store? I love this question.
The first time I saw it, I went to Dallas because they invited me to the Barnes and Noble to sign some stock. I just like went around to a few stores, and so that was because I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's nowhere near me. So I found it there, and I definitely cried a little bit. Because I went there and like I'd baked them cookies. I was all excited, so I was definitely a little. I was it was very emotional, basically.
Yes, you'll be our last person. If you had to do another sport romance, what sport would it be?
I think baseball because it's the only one that I understand the rules. So there would be a lot less Googling.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. Well, honestly, I've had a ball just talking with you. No reason to be nervous. Nobody bit, right? We're all doing great. Katie's face right here. So huge round of applause for Lana Ferguson. Do you see her? Like,
Like my face is turning red. Being perceived.
we all love you, love your writing. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna stand over here. Katie's gonna do a video. Everybody get excited. If you have your book, we'd love you to hold it up and make some noise when we get up there. And then I will have you be whisked away back over there, and I will do some explaining about the signing. So,
Where do I go?